Welcome to the network hacking section of our ethical hacking course. This is where we dive into how systems communicate over networks and explore vulnerabilities that can be exploited of our ethical hacking course. With network hacking. This is where we dive into how systems communicate over networks and explore vulnerabilities that can be exploited a server or a ethical hacking with network hacking. This is where we dive into how systems communicate through networks. The internet itself is nothing more than a massive network. Understanding how networks work and how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we nothing more than a massive understanding how networks understanding how networks devices within this network how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we nothing more than a massive understanding how networks understanding how networks within this network how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we nothing more than a massive understanding how networks understanding how networks within this network how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential nothing more than understanding how networks understanding how networks divided in this network how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential nothing more than understanding how networks understanding how networks divided in this network how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential nothing more than understanding how networks understanding how networks divided in this network how devices within this network communicate is absolutely. Welcome to the network hacking section of our ethical hacking course. This is where we dive into how systems communicate over networks and explore vulnerabilities that can be exploited. Why start with network hacking? Welcome to the network hacking section. Everything of our today is connected to a network and explore vulnerabilities that can be exploited. A company's internal system or even just a website. They all communicate through networks. The internet itself is nothing more than a massive network. Understanding how networks work, even just a website, how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential. The internet itself is nothing more than understanding how networks work. Understanding how networks work, even just a website, how devices within this network is absolutely essential. The internet itself is nothing more than understanding how networks work. Understanding how networks work, even just a website, how devices within this network is absolutely essential. The internet itself is nothing more than understanding how you have a device with a network interface or Wi-Fi adapter. What can you do before even connecting? Welcome to the network hacking section of our ethical hacking course. This is where we dive into how systems communicate over networks and explore vulnerabilities that can be exploited. We move on the cracking Wi-Fi network. Why start with network hacking? Well, think about it. Everything today is connected to a network. Whether it's a personal computer, a server, a company's internal system, or even just a website, they all communicate through networks. The internet itself is nothing more than a massive network. Understanding how networks work and how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we move to understanding how networks work and how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we move on. And that's just beginning. But it does not stop there. You will also learn how to modify data on the fly, when to inject malicious code into web pages as they load. How about serving fake updates to users? The possibilities are endless. So, get ready to dive deep into the network hacking section. By the end of this section, you will have a solid understanding of how to exploit vulnerabilities within both Wi-Fi and wired networks. So, let's get started. Welcome to the network hacking section of our ethical hacking course. This is where we dive into how systems communicate over networks and explore vulnerabilities that can be exploited. Why start with network hacking? Well, think about it. Everything today is connected to a network. Whether it's a personal computer, a server, a company's internal system, or even just a website, they all communicate through networks. The internet itself is nothing more than a massive network. Understanding how networks work and how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we move to understanding how networks work and how devices within this network communicate is absolutely essential before we move on the other aspect of hacking. This section will be divided into three main subsections. In the first subsection, pre-connection attacks. We will focus on attacks you can perform before connecting to any network. Imagine you have a device with a network interface or Wi-Fi adapter. What can you do before even connecting? Well, explore techniques to gather information and test vulnerabilities without establishing a connection. Next, we move on the cracking Wi-Fi networks, whether it's WEP, WPA or WPA2 encryption. We will learn how to crack those Wi-Fi keys and gain access to secure networks. Once you have gained access, the doors open for a range of possibilities. Finally, the third subsection is where things get really interesting. Whether you are on a Wi-Fi or wired network, you will learn how to execute powerful attacks once you have connected. In this part, you will discover how to intercept traffic, capture usernames, passwords, URLs, and even chat messages. And that's just beginning. But it does not stop there. You will also learn how to modify data on the fly, when to inject malicious code into web pages as they load, how about serving fake updates to users. The possibilities are endless. So get ready to dive deep into the network hacking section. By the end of this section, you will have a solid understanding of how to exploit vulnerabilities within both Wi-Fi and wired networks. So let's get started. Before we dive into network hacking, it's important to first understand how network works, and we connect to a network every day, often without even thinking about it. Whether it's through Wi-Fi or wired connection, we use networks to share data or access resources like the internet. In fact, the internet is the best example of resource we connect to every day. All networks follow a basic structure. At the center of most networks, there is a device that controls everything. This is called the server or access point. For home networks, this device is usually your router. Think of the router as the gateway of the internet. Your computer or phone can directly connect to the internet. It has to go through the router first. Here is an example. Imagine you are on your computer and you went to visit google.com. When you type that into your browser, your computer sends a request to the router. The router then connects to the internet, finds google.com and sends the information back to your computer. Your browser then shows the web page. The router is the only device in your home network that has the direct connection to the internet. Every other device, whether it's your phone, laptop or tablet, has to go through the router to get online. Data travels back and forth between your devices and the router in the form of packets. These packets carry information like your request is. For example, if you are on a Wi-Fi network, these packets are sent through the air. Because these packets are in the air, if you have the right tools and you are within the range, you can capture and read them. By capturing these packets, you can see what other devices on the same network are doing online. You can see the website they visit and even sensitive data like usernames and passwords. We will dive deeper into how you can capture and analyze these packets in upcoming lessons. But for now, this basic understanding of how network work operate will help you grasp the existing things we are about to explore. Stay tuned as we start to look at some cool network attacks. In this video, I am going to show you how to connect a USB device, especially a wireless adapter, to your virtual machine in VMware. I will be using a KaliLinux for this demo, but you can follow the same step for every virtual machine and any USB device. As mentioned in the course requirements, you will need a Wi-Fi adapter for the Wi-Fi cracking section. This is the part where we will be showing you how to crack Wi-Fi password. However, for other sections of the course, you won't need the adapter. Now, when I say adapter, I am talking about USB device that connects to your computer and allows it to communicate with wireless networks. Most computers and laptops have built-in wireless cards, but here is the issue. VMware does not allow direct access to this built-in wireless card. Even if it did, this card does not support advanced hacking features like monitor mode and packet injection, which are essential for network hacking. That's why I recommend using an external wireless adapter, like the one listed in the course requirements. Let's get started. First, open a VMware and select virtual machine you want to connect your wireless adapter to. In this case, I am using KaliLinux. and go to Setting. Once there, navigate to USB controller. Make sure the USB controller is enabled and select the USB version that matches your adapter. Most wireless adapters use USB 2.0 or 3.0. So for this demonstration, I am selecting 2.0. Once the adapter is connected, VMware will recognize it. Once the adapter is connected, VMware will recognize it. The name you see here might not match the brand name of your adapter. It usually shows the chipset name like Atrios or Realtek. In my case, it's showing Realtek, which is my adapter. The wireless adapter is now ready to be used with Kali. Or log in to Kali with username and passwords. To make sure the adapter is connected to Kali, go to the VM menu at the top and click Removable Devices. And select the adapter from the list. If it's not checked, go ahead and click on it to enable it. For me, it's already checked. Let's confirm that the adapter is successfully connected. Open the terminal in Kali and type if config. This command lists all network interface connected to the machine. If your adapter is connected, you will see an interface called WLAN 0. This confirms the adapter is recognized and ready to use. You also notice a Wi-Fi icon at the top right corner of the screen. We won't need to connect Wi-Fi right now because Kali already has internet through a net adapter. But this shows that the adapter is ready for a Wi-Fi related task like hacking. And that's it. Your wireless adapter is now connected to your virtual machine in VMware. And you are ready to start hacking into wireless networks in the upcoming lessons. In further lesson, we will go into more detail about using monitor mode, packet injection, and much more. In this video, we will talk about something called a MAC address. You have probably heard this term in network hacking. So let's break it down. What is a MAC address? What it used for? And how you can change it. MAC address stands for a Media Access Control Address. It's unique and permanent address given to each network device like your Wi-Fi card or Ethernet card by the manufacturer. No two devices in the world will ever have the same MAC address. Think of it like your device fingerprint. Even if you unplug that network device from the one computer and connect it to another, the MAC address will always stay the same. You might already know that an IP address is used for identify computers on the internet. A MAC address works a little differently. It's used within a network identify device and helps transfer data between them. Every data packet sent over a network has a source MAC address where it's coming from and a destination MAC address where it's going. Since the MAC address is unique to each device, changing it can help you to stay anonymous on the network. For example, some networks only allow specific device to connect based on their MAC addresses. By changing your MAC addresses, you can pretend to be a different device, bypass filters, or hide your real identity. Now let's talk about how to change your MAC address. Don't worry, it's really simple. Open terminal and we will use ifconfig command in KaliLinux to list all the network's interface. Network interfaces are devices like Wi-Fi cards or Ethernet ports that allow us to connect networks. For example, on my machine, I have a virtual network interface called ETH0 and a wireless interface called WLAN 0. Each interface has its own MAC address, which you can see listed under Ether. For the interface WLAN 0, we will be changing the MAC address. First, we need to disable the interface before making any changes. To do this, we will type ifconfig WLAN 0 down. Config Now let's change the MAC addresses. We will type if config WLAN 0 HW HR and followed by the new MAC address. We went 009988776655 and hit enter. No error message. That means the MAC address has been successfully changed. Finally, we are re-enable the interface by typing if config WLAN up. Now the interface is back online, and if we check again using if config, you will see the MAC address has changed to the new one. Just keep in mind, this change is temporary. When you restart your computer, the MAC address will reset to its original value. If it reset before that, it might be because your network manager is resetting it. That's it. You now know what a MAC address is, how it's used, and how to change it. This can be really useful for staying anonymous or bypassing certain network filters. In the previous lesson, we learned how networks work and how data is sent as a packet between devices. Whether you are watching a video, sending a chat messages, or checking emails, everything is sent as a packet. Each packet has a source MAC address and a destination MAC address. It travels from the source to the destination device. Let's say we have a client device with one MAC address and an access point with another MAC address. If the client wants to send data to the router, it will use the router's MAC address as the destination. Normally, a device only receives packets that are meant for it, packets that have its own MAC address as the destination. But in wireless network, if you are in within the range, you can capture all the packets because they are sent through the air. Even if the packets are not meant for your device, you can still capture them. To capture all these packets, you need to switch your wireless interface to monitor mode. Let me show you how to do this. First, open your terminal and run the command iwconfig. Here you can see WLAN 0, which is my external Wi-Fi adapter. Currently it's set to manage mode. This is the default mode where the adapter only captures packets meant for it. But we want to capture all the packets in the range. So we need to switch to monitor mode. First you need to disable the interface. Type if config and 0 down. To do this, after that, it's a good idea to run a command to stop any process that might interfere with monitor mode. Now let's enable a monitor mode. Type iwconfig LAN mode monitor. This command sets the mode to monitor. If you see no errors, the command works. Then you enable the interface by typing if config LAN up. Run iwconfig again and you should see that the mode is now set to monitor. Your interface can now capture any packets within the range, not just those meant for your device. In future lessons, when I mention using monitor mode, this is what I mean. You will need to enable monitor mode as shown. One last thing, not all wireless adapters support monitor mode. Make sure your adapter does. That's it for now. You are all set for start capturing packets in monitor mode. See you in the next lesson where we will dive deeper into network analysis and security. See you soon.